Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin, aka The Terrible Australian at Supermarcy.com, and welcome to my video review of the Coen brothers' latest film, Hail Caesar. So let's get right into it. Now, I'm a pretty big admirer of the Coen brothers. They're definitely up there as probably one of the most consistently good filmmakers working today. Mainly for the fact that, they rarely make duds in their filmography. Like, there's probably one or two here and there, but most of the time they make consistently great work, and their films kind of range either from pretty good to pretty damn excellent. But like I said, they're very consistent in what they do, so you know that you're going to expect quality work from them every time. So in that regard, I was very excited to see their new film, Hail Caesar, which in a lot of ways definitely appealed to me as a film fan, mainly because it's a film that's sort of set in old Hollywood in the 1950s, and I love films that are kind of sort of set in that period in Hollywood, because that stuff kind of really appeals to me. So in that regard, I was definitely excited to check this one out, and having seen it now, I definitely say I really enjoyed it a lot. I mean, I'm not going to say it's up there as one of their best films or anything like that, but it's a really fun, really entertaining film that I had quite a good time with from beginning to end. And I think one of the main reasons for that is, of course, it is an absolute love letter to old Hollywood, particularly with the films of the 1950s, because this film has so many great moments that really sort of harken back to like sort of films from that period. And there's one scene in particular that in my opinion is probably going to go down as one of my favorite scenes of the year. Is this sort of like Gene Kelly-esque song and dance sequence with Channing Tatum, which is just absolutely fantastic. It's just a superb sequence, great song, great dance choreography. It's just a brilliant moment, and there's a lot of really good moments sprinkled throughout this film as well. And of course, you know, being the Coen brothers, they have a great cast on hand, and everyone does a great job with their roles, from the biggest to the smallest. And of course, you know, it's all anchored with Josh Brolin's character, who's kind of the main focus of the film. And since his character, Eddie Mannix, who, funnily enough, is actually was a real life person who worked as a fixer in Hollywood during that time, we sort of follow his work as a fixer during sort of the many subplots over the film, and watching him as he is trying to solve every single one of them. And of course, the big main one being the kidnapping of George Clooney's character. And funnily enough, the marketing of the film sort of makes you think that the film is going to be mainly about that, and that Josh Brolin's character is going to round up all of his friends in Hollywood to sort of go out and try to find George Clooney. But if anything, the marketing is kind of misleading in that way, because the George Clooney kidnapping subplot is, while it's the main thrust of the story, it's actually one of many subplots that are sort of sprinkled throughout the film. You've got one involving Scarlett Johansson, and another one with, and I'm probably going to butcher his name, so forgive me, Alden Ehrenreich subplot, and also Channing Tatum subplot. So there's a bunch of subplots that are sort of featured throughout this film. And of course, Josh Brolin's kind of the main one who, in every single one of them, trying to sort of solve every single one, and we kind of follow his journey, while at the same time he has his own problems to deal with as well. And that way, the film's a lot of fun, so you get to see sort of different sides of Hollywood, and also all the character, other than sort of Josh Brolin's character, who was a real life character, all the characters in the film are fictitious, but you can clearly see that they're all based on real life Hollywood actors. And kind of seeing, and also the cast are just having a lot of fun with their roles, and you can definitely sense that in their performances as well. And also, it's very well directed by the Coen brothers, beautifully shot by Roger Deakins. This is the first time he's actually shot on film in a couple of years, because he's been mostly working in digital, and the film just looks spectacular. It's definitely one of the most gorgeous looking films I've seen so far this year. And also the Coen brothers script is really well written, and it's full of wit and just full of just really wonderful moments as well. But to me, one of going back to the cast for a second, I actually have to say the my favorite performance in the entire film was actually Alden Ehrenreich's performance. I just found he to me gave the best performance in the film, and his character's subplot was definitely the one I had the most fun with and was also the most engaged by. And he's just terrific in the film, and he pretty much steals every scene he's in. And it's definitely, in my opinion, a star-making performance from him. And in terms of negatives, there's one thing I always find a little bit of a problem with the Coen brothers is that sometimes I wish with some of their scripts, I kind of wish they did a bit more with them, because sometimes, like in a way, I guess how to explain it, with some of the subplots in this film, pretty much all of them are resolved by the end of the film in their own way. But for some of them, though, I couldn't help the feeling that I just wasn't satisfied by their conclusions. I kind of was, I expected a bit more, or maybe a resolution that sort of felt satisfying to me as a viewer. And the Coen brothers in the past have been kind of guilty of doing that, sort of giving, resolutions to their stories or characters and whatnot, but doing them in a way that's not really satisfying, at least to me anyway. Some people would disagree with that, and I don't blame you if you do. But I don't know, it just that kind of, and because it happens quite a bit in this film, and it kind of just by the end of the film, with at least some of the subplots, all I kept thinking about was that subplot really necessary to be in the film at all? So that's the kind of feeling I felt with some aspects of the film's many subplots. In that regard, I kind of wish they sort of the Coen brothers kind of did a bit more with them. But they're the Coen brothers. I mean, this is their thing, and they like to sort of give us sort of resolutions or outcomes that we don't expect in a way that we think it's going to go one way, but it completely goes the opposite. But, it works for them, and that's fine. And sometimes it does, but I don't know, I kind of felt a little unsatisfied with some of the resolutions in this film. And also, with some cast members, I felt they were kind of wasted with their performances. Because a lot of the actors, like Frances McDormand, Jonah Hill, Christopher Lambert, and that, they kind of only just show up for mainly one scene, and you never see them again after that. Even though the scenes they're in are pretty good, but you kind of wish there was more with them. So, in that regard, I felt like, while sort of a lot of cast members got a lot to do and got a lot of moments to shine, others, unfortunately, weren't really given much to do. So, but overall, I still really enjoyed Hail Caesar. I think it's a fun Coen brothers film. It's funny and it's enjoyable. But at the same time, I can understand why some audience members didn't really take to it. So, I mean, especially with some of the problems I had with the film, which I can understand would really annoy other viewers as well. So, but for me personally, I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good film and definitely worth checking out for sure. And if you're Coen brothers, definitely seek it out. So yeah, if I have to give Hail Caesar a rating, I give it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, that's the end of my video review of Hail Caesar. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. See you everyone. Bye.